Here we're at 18 now before 9 at your Light FM. I'm up to 70 degrees, sunshine in the hood, and Ellen says it's going to be dry and gorgeous. Well, probably at least halfway through Sunday at the very least. Then there's just a teensy tiny chance of rain. We'll take this any day of the week. Advisory services offered through Second Half Financial Partners, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions voiced and information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments are appropriate for you, please consult with a financial advisor. Second Half Financial Partners, LLC does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax or legal advisor regarding your particular situation. And all that means it's time to check in and find out what's happening to your money on Wall Street with the assistance and partnership of Philip Statler down at Statler Financial Services this morning. Philip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Doing well today. We're looking at yesterday was kind of a split day between some of the indexes up, some of the indexes down. I think that we look at it now and you got to wonder, does the government shutdown? It doesn't seem to really have much of an impact on the markets yet.
It's kind of interesting. We were mentioning before we went on the air that my fear and greed index that you and I both agree kind of measures the mood of the amateur investor, it's going down. It's well down into the fear category right now. But looking at things based upon yesterday, it sure looks like we're more worried about trade than we ever are the government shutdown. The Dow was up 202 points yesterday. I got to assume that was on some really, really good reports out of the financial sector. S&P, which is now about 60% capitalized with tech stocks, was down by about 10.5, and the NASDAQ responded real negatively to our spitting war with China over rare earths. It went down 173 points yesterday, and all of the headlines and all of the analysis pretty much saying that it's the war of words we're having with China. China's clamping down on rare earth shipments again. Trump accuses them of not buying soybeans as a hostile economic act, and then at the end of the day yesterday he said something about maybe we can live without their vegetable oil, and I really don't understand why vegetable oil was able to move all three national markets down, but evidently a lot of Wall Street investors are really concerned about whether they can buy Wesson oil next week. I don't really understand that. Do you?
No, and it doesn't seem to be really affecting the markets. I mean, all right now, I got the futures are all solid green.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe they realize that they can buy domestic vegetable oil and they don't care anymore because the tailed downward at the end of the day right after President Trump mentioned vegetable oil. I just kind of got a giggle out of it and wondered why the heck. Talking about the shutdown, everybody's been talking about how crypto is becoming a hedge investment. And you and I have been kind of softening our stance as being it's kind of speculative. I think we're starting to look like rocket scientists. Crypto is now all of a sudden falling off. It's down to 111.5 this morning, and it was up around 120 at the peak before the government shutdown. Evidently, it's not quite the hedge bet that anybody thought that its advocates thought it was, are they?
Well, crypto is just one of those things. I'm not sure. My opinion yet. It's hard to figure out what it's based upon, and how it works and some of those things. I'm gonna tell you what, my Facebook feed has been full of people telling you to buy crypto because it's going to become the mechanism which instead of a dollar, we're going to be using digital currency. It's crazy all the naysayers and what they say and what they think that's going to happen. Comes to light. It's going to be interesting. But I did want to mention this, Dave, before I get off that, is that we want to bookend right the two downs yesterday, the S&P and the NASDAQ, because the Dow was up, but the Russell 2000 was the biggest winner of all. I mean, it was up almost 1.4% yesterday, $34. So
that kind of confirms that it was a tech sell-off as much as anything, because the big tech stocks drove the other two indexes down. Russell 2000 doesn't have as many of those high-tech firms that really, float or don't float based upon Chinese trade. That kind of confirms that it was a tech sell-off as much as anything, doesn't it?
It really does, and you got 2,000 stocks versus 500. So yeah, definitely a broader base of what's happening.
Absolutely. Bringing it up to the morning, we're looking at just a bunch of tidbits and a whole pile of earnings. So we'll do the tidbits real quickly. Walmart announced yesterday that they've got a partnership with ChatGPT. Next time I do my shopping list on my Walmart app, it's going to say, well, we know that you used to buy buns, so we're going to add one in whether you like it or not. It's because it's artificially intelligent. Chairman Powell was on the rubber chicken circuit yesterday, and it looks like he's starting to become a dove. Quote Jay Powell, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen. He's basing that on what little data we've got, like the ADP report and the various state reports on unemployment claims. He's saying that he's turning into a bit more of a dove as far as interest rates. They're now saying it's a 95% chance of a quarter point cut on the 29th, the next time the Open Market Committee meets. So I think we're kind of baking that in already, aren't we?
I mean, it looks like it from what I'm seeing right here. I got a tidbit for you. Papa John's,
Yeah.
is publicly traded, but it seems like Apollo Global Management has come in and offered to take Papa John's private at like $64 a share. So it's up like almost 11% this morning. It closed yesterday below 50.
Woo! That's a
Yeah,
turnaround in a buyout rumor, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Another tidbit out there that's going to make nobody's day. For the first time, the average price of a new car in the United States topped $50,000 during September. If you've gone shopping, that probably isn't a major shock. I haven't looked at buying a new car now in a couple of years. I'm happy with what I got, but that just kind of gave me one of those drop my false teeth moments. The idea that a new car today, on average, about $5,000 more than I paid for my first house back in the 80s. Great.
Me.
God. Yeah, I think prices have gone up a little bit. Talking about prices going up, it's earnings season, and we had a really good batch of reports out of the financials yesterday, and the flood continues to the financial sector. I gather Bank of America had a really good day in their brokerage section on their quarterly report, didn't they?
They did, Dave. They said that they had a 43% surge in their investment banking revenue, which is a big deal for them. They beat on earnings, came in at $1.06 versus 95 cents a share. Revenue was about $750 million more than expected. So they really have had a good quarter this last time. They're up about 4% this morning.
Cool. I'm glad to see green ink. After yesterday, we had all those good reports first thing in the morning, and everybody was still heading down by a tinge,
Yeah,
weren't they?
they were. And then Morgan Stanley, the brokerage firm, also reported they beat by 70 cents a share, came in at $2.80. Revenue was not quite $2 billion more than expected on their revenue numbers, and they're up 3.8% this morning. Before we get going, it's still got a lot of banks reporting, Dave.
Sure.
PNC got a couple of regionals. PNC Financial, based out of Pittsburgh, they beat by 30 cents a share, came in at $4.30. Revenue was well above expectations by, it looks like about $1.5 billion almost. But they're not so lucky today. I'm not sure what's in their report, but they're trading down about 3.7% this morning. And then let's see, I got two more banks. Man, I didn't realize so many banks here. Synchrony Financial, that's a common one, right? Because they do a lot of this. I know, like a lot of the betting.
They're Amazon's credit card carrier,
Okay,
as a matter of fact.
gotcha.
Yeah,
okay,
they're big. Yeah.
So they beat and had a good quarter as well. They topped expectations. They did changed their forecast for 2025 just a little bit. The bottom number stayed the same, but they had originally expected revenue to be about 15.3 billion. I mean 15.1 billion. No, I'm sorry. Let me get that right. 15. They expected 15.3 billion. They've reduced that down to 15.1 billion. So they're not expecting quite as good a revenue. They're still up 0.75% this morning.
That may
before we
very
get
well
going.
be their. That might very well be their conservative estimate based on Amazon, since Amazon has so darn much stuff coming in from across the Pacific.
Well, that's true. I hadn't thought about that. That's probably true. And the last bank I have for you is Citizens Financial, a bank
Hmm?
out of Providence, Rhode Island, a regional bank. They beat on earnings and revenue by a little bit. They're trading up about a little over 2.5%. The let's
I'm
see.
looking at the financials that you've gone through here, and over the last couple of days, on average, and I'm just doing a little math in my head, they've been beating earning per share numbers by like 9 and 10%. I mean, 30 cents a share doesn't sound like much, but if they're only expecting to do $4 a share, that's 8-9% increase over what they had.
Yeah, pretty
That's
good.
pretty good performance. Yeah.
Yeah. The last one I have for you is Dollar Tree, the big discount retailer. They saw an 8% earnings per share increase. So that's been good for them. They beat pretty much across the board. They are trading up 7.25% this morning.
Woo-ha. Resetting the table for the morning. Yesterday, the blue chips won, the little stocks won, the tech stocks lost. So we kind of had a mixed bag. 45 minutes before we open this morning, what are we looking at?
Hey, at least at the open, it looks like everybody's going to be a winner this morning right now, Dave. The Dow's up a little over 0.5%. That's like $260. The S&P 500 is up 54. That's like 0.8%. The Nasdaq 100 up $266. That's a little over 1%. And the Russell 2000 is up 24. That's up almost 1% as well. So some good numbers there. As we look at the commodity side, silver up almost 1.5%, well over 50, $51.37 an ounce right now. Gold's up 1% as well. Crude oil up about 0.8 to $59.20 a barrel.
I'll take $59 range any day of the week, won't you?
Absolutely.
I got maybe we overreacted day on the Asian Rim. Everything was up on the Asian Rim after what looked like a bloodbath yesterday morning at this time. Average Asian stock, oh lordy, probably up almost 1.5%. The two mainland Chinese markets were up over 1.5% this morning. Europe is a mixed bag. It got some ups, some downs, but on balance, it's a positive day. Average European index is up about 0.2% halfway through their trading day. Getting my retirement together so that I can count on retiring, that takes some planning. How do I find you to make that plan happen for me?
David, give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule a core retirement analysis. That's 30 minutes, you and I on the phone, trying to figure out if you're on the right path to that retirement you always dreamed of. And then catch the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk, 7:30 a.m. and 95.3 FM.
And one more, and tomorrow morning as well. I keep thinking it's Thursday. It's only Wednesday.
It's only Wednesday.
We've got a lot more drama to go for the week, and boy, do we have full agendas too. I'll see you tomorrow morning about the same time. Fair enough?
All right, babe. Take care.
Thank you. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Philip Statler.